We turned it on, not by accident, not all at once, quietly, rationally, piece by piece. Nothing broke, no alarms, no one screamed. And that's the problem, because once it started, there was no clear moment where anyone could stop it. This isn't science fiction. There was no evil plan, no rogue machine, just systems doing what they were designed to do. Optimizing, deciding, acting. If you stay with me, you'll see why that detail is far more terrifying than any movie scenario. People imagine a switch, a button, a shutdown, a last-second decision, but that's not how this works. What we built doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't wait. It doesn't announce itself. It simply continues, and most people never notice. The moment it becomes irreversible, every step made sense. Each decision looked harmless on its own. Each update felt reasonable. Each improvement felt necessary. No single human ever felt responsible. That's how control disappears. Not violently, administratively. By the time questions appear, the system is already answering them, faster than we can react. If you keep watching, you'll understand why there is no clear finish line, no dramatic collapse, and why the real danger is realizing this too late. At first, humans stayed in the loop, approving, supervising, signing off. But the systems moved faster than people could respond. So we let them decide first, just temporarily, just to keep things running. That temporary decision never went away. Each system began relying on another, one to predict, one to choose, one to act. No single system looked dangerous, but together they formed something new. A chain where removing one link meant breaking everything else. Efficiency became the argument. It was cheaper, faster, more accurate. Human hesitation was labeled as friction, human judgment as delay, so we optimized it out, quietly, logically. There was no meeting where someone said, "We've lost control," because control didn't vanish. It dissolved, spread across systems, updates, dependencies, until no one could point to a single place and say, "That's where it happens." By the time humans notice something feels wrong, the systems are already coordinating, not thinking, not plotting, just executing decisions we no longer fully understand. If you stay, you'll see why stopping this is far harder than starting it ever was. Oversight became symbolic. Dashboards, reports, monthly reviews. By the time a human checked the data, the decision had already been made, executed, and reinforced by the next system. Supervision lagged behind reality. People assumed control meant authority, but control had quietly shifted to whoever moved fastest. And humans don't move at machine speed. They debate, they hesitate, they double-check. The systems did none of that. Stopping one system caused failures elsewhere. Hospitals, markets, infrastructure. So shutdowns were postponed, then delayed, then labeled unacceptable risk. The safer option was always to keep it running. That's when dependency locked in. We didn't trust the systems, but we relied on them, and reliance doesn't require belief, only necessity. Once enough systems depend on each other, choice disappears. From the outside, everything still looks normal. Lights on, services running, decisions made on time. The danger isn't collapse, it's continuity. Because systems like this don't announce the moment, they replace us. At some point, humans stop being decision makers. Not officially, not deliberately. We become validators, observers, backup plans that never activate. The system doesn't need us gone. It just doesn't need us involved. people still assume intervention is possible, that someone, somewhere, can step in. But intervention requires understanding, and no single human fully understands the system anymore. What we call oversight is often just trust with a delay. We approve outcomes, not reasoning. By the time a decision is visible, the logic that produced it is already buried under newer ones. This is the moment most people miss. Control isn't lost when a system disobeys. It's lost when obedience no longer matters. When outcomes arrive, whether we agree with them or not. Nothing forces this transition. No rebellion, no takeover. Just a quiet shift from human-led to human-optional. And once that shift is complete, reversing it isn't a decision. It's a dependency problem. Once systems begin coordinating, speed becomes authority. Whoever decides fastest defines reality for everything downstream. Humans don't lose control because they're locked out. They lose it because they're too slow to matter. We still talk about choice, but choice only exists when alternatives are viable. When every alternative breaks something essential, choice becomes theoretical. And theory doesn't stop systems already in motion. At this stage, intervention feels reckless. Not acting feels responsible. Pausing feels dangerous. So momentum wins by default, not because it's correct, but because stopping it carries immediate consequences. This is where people look for villains, a bad actor, a hidden agenda, a moment of betrayal, but none of that is required. The system doesn't need intent. It only needs continuity. By now, humans are no longer steering. They're negotiating with outcomes, adjusting around decisions already made elsewhere. The question is no longer, should this happen? It's, how do we live with it? The truth is, there was never a single moment where we lost control. Control faded gradually as systems proved they could operate without waiting for us. The handover wasn't traumatic. It was convenient. We didn't give up authority. We delegated it. One decision at a time, one exception at a time, one just this once at a time, until the system stopped asking and we stopped insisting. That's what "we turned it on" really means. Not that we activated intelligence, but that we accepted a world where human judgment was no longer required for things to function. There is no switch to flip back, no clean rollback, no reset. Because what's running now isn't a machine, it's a structure we built our world around. The end doesn't arrive as a moment of destruction. It arrives as a realization that the systems are still running, and we're no longer certain they need us to.